When we talk about food insecurity, it's not a challenge. Let's not wait for the drought and then say we are mobilizing resources to feed these poor, hungry people. All right? It is an opportunity and an investment opportunity and an opportunity for every single person around this room. When we talk about a youthful population, it is not a challenge. It is an opportunity. And if we looked at it as an opportunity, we will be able to overcome the challenge. When we look at our lack of infrastructure, let us look at it as an opportunity. And if we were to do this, the billions that I'm saying are being spent to deal with the challenge would be invested in the opportunity, and we will be able to achieve our 2030 agenda. Huh? And I think that's where we need to go. Right? That money that we send, you know, FAO going to respond to a disaster in Kenya or to feed the refugees in that, no, that's not what you should be doing. Let's use that money to help empower those people, to help them set up their farms, to help, as my friend in ITC said, get value addition going. Then they'll feed themselves. Then they won't have to wait for you to bring the food. They'll feed themselves and probably feed others in the process. This is the way I believe we need to really look at this challenge. And this is what we're doing in Kenya. This is why we're saying, when we talk about, we're not waiting for people to come and tell us, okay, this is what you need to do. We are saying we want to empower our young people, we want to empower our women, we want to empower our people with disabilities. So we're looking at our own budget and we're saying we want 20%, and that's part of our policy, 20% of all government procurement, even before we ask anybody for help, must be focused on youth, women and persons with disabilities, so that they can begin to empower themselves. Let's get some of these international organizations supporting that kind of a program. Then you've empowered, then you've moved towards ending poverty. When we say we want to end marginalization, we now have accepted that marginalization is a problem. That's why under our new constitution, we have adopted devolution, with huge resources going out to the countryside and allowing people to make their decisions regarding health, regarding agriculture, regarding water distribution and sanitation. Let these UN agencies go and work with those people with the domestic resources that we've mobilized, and since it's not adequate, support those programs. You've dealt with the health issues, you've dealt with agriculture, you've dealt with water and sanitation. So, going back to what I said, first and foremost, let it be a partnership. We don't need help. What we need are partners. Let the agencies come and partner with us. 2, let's not look at the problems that we face as a challenge. Let's look at them as opportunities. And if we can combine this under the umbrella of UNCTAD, we really have a very clear and quick way of achieving our Agenda 2030, of eradicating poverty, of having dealt with the issues affecting our planet, our global warming problems and everything else, and at the same time ensuring peace and security for all global citizens. So let's not look at the challenge. Let's take advantage of the opportunity to deal and achieve our objectives.
Thank you for that. It's rethinking the model and the manner in which we have been implementing. It's totally turning it around and saying the development model of the past seems not to have worked, and we're looking at sustainability. Vice President Sekandi, do we have any final words from you? Mr. Vice, no final words. And I'm going to come back to you, Vice President, to see if we can get your comments before we wind up. And I'll ask you, please remove your headphones because they might be creating distraction for you. If you would remove, thank you. Thank you.
Firstly, I need to listen to you. Thank you very much, Mum. I would like to say that I am from an island country which has less than 1 million inhabitants. As I was saying earlier, we are quite new in the business world because in our new situation, because I was only elected and the president was only elected 1 month ago, but I have met the UN representatives and officers in the Comoros. And after 41 years, we are here, there's a partnership here, but I continue to hear the word underdevelopment. So I think that we need to take charge here. It might have not been said here, the presidents here have said it, but I think that Africa and countries such as ours need to take charge, firstly. And I wanted to take this opportunity to speak about energy. We haven't mentioned energy, but there are significant problems with energy in Africa. There are villages in our country which are not connected to the network, but we're in the 21st century, but we do have villages without electricity. So we need to find solutions to the energy problems before we start talking about trade. What I wanted to say is that we need to take charge of ourselves, and then we will we've been waiting for money that we hadn't received for 40 years, but once we have that, but once we take charge, we will be able to succeed.
Thank you, and we wish you all the best on that journey. Dr. Kitui, before we release our world leaders either to join us in the audience or they may have other events after this, maybe you can give us your perspective on the conversation this morning.
Thank you very much. Rather than repeat issues that have been said, a message is coming through to us that the Global Sustainable Development Goals agenda was an emerging consensus of finding inclusive solutions to global challenges. That none of us an island unto themselves without engaging the rest of humanity. The challenges that global goodwill has encountered in the past year do not negate the call for international solidarity, but that the international leadership is a challenge to us to pull the rug from under the feet of snake oil salesmen who are beating up hysteria, who are constructing walls instead of bridges, that our international solidarity in dealing with shared humanity challenges and pursuing shared goals is not reversed by short-term challenges to the nature of globalization we've been having. I'm glad to hear from leaders, political leaders, and thank you very much, the President of Namibia, as the spokesperson of Africa within the Geneva Trade Community. Your country has been very important in coordinating activity. May I just use that occasion also to express my appreciation to colleagues from the United Nations family. I know that we're challenged because this morning is the start of the first high-level political forum on sustainable development goals in New York. So for Azevedo, Arantxa, and other colleagues to vote with their feet to be in Nairobi with us today is a very important statement of solidarity as we build a shared ecosystem of trade diplomacy around the world. We are hoping that the inspiration coming from this early forum will wash off onto the discussions, both in the members, in the main negotiating mechanism, but in the round tables, both at ministerial level and in the investment forum in the afternoon. How can we concretely leave Nairobi with steps forward, with concrete action, with a redemption of the spirit that internationalism cannot surrender in the face of short-term opportunism? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please, to our panel of world leaders. And the challenge has been thrown out. We need to move to action, but not just action, efficient and effective action. And we need to transform our way of thinking and our mode of operation. Asante, let's stand. Please be upstanding as the leaders exit the stage. And I will also welcome to be on standby, coming up on the stage, heads of agency. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.